This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Warren County Commissioners Work Session of February 8th. The meeting is being recorded. There's no public hearing or old items of discussion for today, but there are three main topics today of discussion. The first is the liquid fuels allocation, which we'll call on Pam to present. Act 13 requests, which we'll call on Commissioner Eggleston to talk about, and then the review of the commissioners meeting for Wednesday and that agenda. I need to leave in 20 minutes, so hopefully we can get it done in 20 minutes. If not, I'm just going to quietly slip onto the cell phone and Tricia will take over the meeting. Okay, so liquid fuels allocation. Pam, go ahead.
As you know, last year, at the end of the year, we were short by $17,000 to meet our liquid fuels allocations due to COVID. I have in front of, last year we distributed 140,000 besides the bridge inspections. We cannot do that. I am suggesting that we go and we keep the bridge inspections for the 20% that we said we would reimburse the municipalities, drop the distribution to $105,000. That would leave us a cushion of $924. And I estimated 5% less than what we got in 2020.
So we're making an estimate based on the prior year facts that it was lower than expected. And so your request is to change the allocation to $105,000?
Yes.
Okay. And essentially that's pass-through funds, correct? The county gives it and then sends it off to the townships and municipalities.
Correct.
Okay. Is it possible in the event that, so if we do change this to what we expect it to be $105,000 and we do receive more, can we make a second distribution?
We can increase the distribution the next year.
Okay. Oh, the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. So the commissioner is comfortable with having that on the agenda for Wednesday?
Yeah, I just have one or two quick questions. So again, just to reiterate, what would be the overall reduction for municipalities?
It would be a couple thousand.
In total?
Oh, no, each municipality.
Yeah, so what would what again is the total difference between last year and this year?
Let me pull that up.
Well, is this, it said amount distributed 120,000 on the right hand side of this document.
And last year we did 140,000.
Oh, okay.
So overall, is it, so overall, what's the difference?
If we go with 105, you're looking at $30,000.
Right.
Less.
Overall.
Overall.
27 municipalities.
Because your bridge inspections, the 20% that we would be reallocating to the municipalities is 18,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's nothing we can do about it. We get what we get, and we turn it over. And obviously, like this decision, it gives the municipalities time to make adjustments because every one of these dollars counts to them. And I'm sure that Joe Scully being on the line I'm sure he can explain at length the challenge that this will pose to them, if it holds true, or given the situation. But I just wanted to kind of be clear about that, about what the difference was. That's all I have.
Okay. All good on liquid fuels then?
Yep.
Moving on to Act 13 request. Commissioner Eggleston.
So Fred. Okay, so I have Dr. Clark and Adam Minio on the line. I would like to, at the very least, well, I guess I'll just, the introduction to this is simple. The sensory playground at Lacey Park was installed last year. There are several changes in amenities that are being proposed. One being the surface of the playground to make it ADA compliant and wheelchair accessible is to change it from wood chips to a rubberized surface. I think there are a couple other things that they're planning on doing, but Adam and Dr. Clark can talk to that in more detail. My understanding is that they're going to need to raise somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 in order to make these changes. The playground, since its installation, has been heavily utilized and has been a wonderful addition to that area. And what I'm proposing is that we put in a grant application. I don't have the application done yet just because I was getting more information this morning. But my request is going to be for $10,000 from the Act 13 account in order to support their redevelopment of that, or further development of that playground. And so with that, I'd like to give Adam and or Dr. Clark an opportunity to speak about that as far as like what their requests or expectations are.
I can take that real quick. This is Adam. Yes, our mission when we set up to make the park was to make an area that was all inclusive and easily accessible to everybody. We did a really good job in getting the park to the phase that it's at now, but the wood fiber chips and the surface do still complicated to have wheelchairs and kids with mobility issues navigate that easily. So we approached the city about possibly having that upgraded to the rubberized safety surface that Jeff outlined. They are willing to apply for another DCNR grant that I think the application is due sometime in early or mid-April. And part of that, they outlined, I think, somewhere in the range of $85,000 to $100,000 for the total cost of the upgrades just for the surface. And they need to have a 50% match or commitments per match by the time they submit the application in April. So we started our first round of asks last week, got some good feedback from several of the local businesses. So we don't have any firm commitments yet, but if we could get some of those Act 13 funds again, that would be very helpful in making this phase 2 a reality.
Adam, if I could just add, this is Bill Clark. We did reach to local entities, and then we also reached outside to the community to the Trees Trust. Trees Charitable Trust did help out with the playground last time out of Pittsburgh, and they were a contributor to the Barber National Institute Bollinger Campus Capital Campaign. So that application will go out, and then Adam and I, as you said earlier, will work with the other Community Foundation, Jefferson DeFries, a variety of other entities. And a lot of the players, when we talked to them previously, Adam and I were saying that this could be a multiple phase project, and a lot of them said, okay, just come back when you're ready. So we're ready, and we're willing to go knock on the doors again.
What is the balance of our Act 13 funds at this point?
120,000?
120,000?
Jeff's talking. I can hear him through the wall, but not through the.
Agreed. I can hear him on my office.
Yeah, no, it's well over 120. It might even be up to 140. I should have gotten an updated sheet from Dan, but we haven't had any activity on it in a while. So there's ample funds for this from that.
Now, Adam, Bill, don't get too excited. I think the biggest draw we've done was, what, 20,000? That's kind of the cap?
Generally, we've capped these at 20,000. I felt that since the project had received previous support, and then the range of what they're requesting, it seemed like 10,000 would get them a good bit of the distance to their goal.
Okay. Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, appreciate your time. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
You too.
Next on the agenda, policy procedure stuff. The next meeting for that will be Thursday. We deferred the last couple meetings for various reasons. Project updates. That is my project update, really.
Just so broadband task forces, there's been, of course, some renewed interest in moving forward with Youngsville TV. So I have yet to set up a call with the two consultants that Tom Watt and his group are working with. So I'll try and do that this week. And then, of course, we've got interviews this week, which are taking up a lot of times as well.
Indeed. So just for clarity, these are interviews for the position of the finance and administration director. One other project, I guess I'll call it a project anyway, because it is a major time suck, as I am planning on giving the State of the County update on the 24th of February. So I'll probably get with you each individually just to make, or send you an advanced copy, I guess, so you can see if there's anything that you want to add. But mostly that's laying out the projects that we've kind of already identified as our priorities, giving a bit of an update on what happened last year with COVID and numbers and budget and that sort of thing. Okay, upcoming commissioners meeting this Wednesday. On the agenda, we'll have some reappointments to the Housing Authority, repository tax bids, agreement for inmate health care, and then a multi-year maintenance agreement with Motorola, which is just an update. Pam, are we also good to put the liquid fuels allocation on there?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and then one other thing that jumped to mind, did we pass the millage rate yet?
No, that's on the agenda for Wednesday.
Okay, I don't see it on my agenda copy, but I may not be looking at the most recent update. Okay, and just to clarify, that's just verifying the what the county budget was already planning on in terms of millage rate, which is no increase, but we still need to formally adopt that. Anything else missing from the agenda for this Wednesday?
I have something that's not agenda related per se, but been working with the Mental Health Advisory Committee, the ATOD, and that whole group, Forest Warren Human Services, on putting together materials to put out on mental health services, in response to the COVID pandemic. And so we've put together a good bit of information on the website, but one of the requests we've had is to do some advertising, and we wanted to put some inserts in the paper and do a little bit of stuff like that. So I was going to request, and I'm sorry that I didn't get this in writing in advance, but somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1,000 to $1,500 for which I was just going to use from the commissioner's advertising budget in order to put out basically all of the hotline numbers and different contact numbers related to drug and alcohol treatment, suicide prevention, mental health, and a few other things, and then just run those over the next 2 weeks in order to kind of further promote that. And I guess I'm just kind of looking for some support for that, if that's okay. Our budget being like, I think $5,000 for advertising overall.
Right.
If you don't want to do it, it's okay. I can dig up other avenues if
Do we have
you're
anything
okay with it.
needed to that advertising budget at this point, other than probably, I would guess, the fiscal director?
Yeah, so we the commissioners have an advertising budget that we use for all of our general advertising. Last year we barely touched it, so there's money available. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was okay with that before I, spend any of it with that specifically, because I didn't want to spend it and then somebody come back to me and say, why are we doing this? So if you guys are okay with it, then I'll work with Pam and we'll move forward on putting this stuff in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's money left over from the whole fiscal director advertising, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Anything to note about your schedules? My only note would be, let's see, tomorrow I'm probably going to run up to Fairview to meet with our QMS consultant. So I'll probably be working remote tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be here.
Well, I mean, my calendar's been updated, so all of the meetings and interviews that are on the calendar will be here.
Okay. Well, if there is nothing else, there's no executive session after this, so if there's nothing further, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
There you go. Met your deadline.
Yep.